Welcome back to this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host Malik, and let's just jump straight into it. We got a lot going on right now in the all season. A pretty dry point in the all season, but a lot being done now since that period in free agency is kind of towards the end. So a lot of the deals are becoming official. Just for example, Ty Jerome officially signs to the Grizzlies under a multi-year deal, and Cam Spencer re-signs under a multi-year deal on a full guaranteed contract this time. No word on Santi Aldama's deal being official, but we can almost expect to probably hear something today or tomorrow as those deals are finalized. Nothing really to it. I mean, a lot of these deals are, due to the Grizzlies team policy, a lot of these deals are not disclosed, so we don't really know the details until the team says it. But if you don't know, basically, the Grizzlies, it was reported they signed Ty Jerome to a 3-year, $28 million deal, I want to say, and then Cam Spencer for a 4-year deal. Can't quite remember it, but long-term contracts and pretty much getting everything done. Just like that, the main priorities for the Grizzlies, which is bringing back guys. You want to keep more than you lose. So I respect it. Um, and honestly, like I said earlier, I think this, as far as the roster, I think that may be the end. It's looking like it. I don't really know if any other deals are going to be done, but I can't confidently say that, as much people don't want to say it because a lot of people don't understand how free agency really works. Obviously, you want to sign the best players possible, but it's a lot that goes into it. I think with the whole salary cap situation and then signing Jaren Jackson Jr. to that big contract, I would say this all season was a win for the Grizzlies. I have to give Zach Kleiman his credit. You brought in good talent, veteran presence. Um, you got plenty of team friendly deals. A lot of teams aren't able to do that, but Zach Kleiman getting guys like Ty Jerome and Cam Spencer and Santi Aldama on team friendly deals, those are game changers as far as how the Grizzlies move forward. Obviously, with the new CBA, the second apron, things like that. So, very good job by Zach Kleiman right there. I don't really have any complaints. That's one thing I can't give him for. He knows how to get guys on team friendly deals. So, to me, I feel like the Grizzlies actually did were one of the better teams this all season. Obviously, didn't really make a whole lot of noise. Other than the Desmond Bain trade, didn't really make a whole lot of noise. But I like to see that the team is making moves to try to be better. Once again, this is a retool year, so even if the Grizzlies aren't contenders this year, it's a setup for the next year, which we can prepare to see better things. Because obviously, you still got the youth to develop, and this is hopefully one of the first times that we see the team fully healthy throughout the year. Obviously, you're gonna start the year without Zach Edey, and you may have Jaren Jackson Jr. back before the start of the season. So really a lot that goes into it, but I would say that the Grizzlies making the right decisions, and I really don't really have much to complain as far as that. I know there were a lot of rumors, but rumors are rumors for a reason, and it's just the reality. But with the resources that the Grizzlies have, I think they made it work, and they did a pretty good job with it. Now, something else that was reported. This is actually news regarding the coaching staff. Grizzlies added some bench to Twamas Isolos's staff, which we love to see. Basically, it comes from sources saying the Grizzlies are hiring Ryan Saunders as the lead assistant coach under Twamas Isolo. And the good thing about this, Saunders comes from the Denver Nuggets, and he was a part of that 2023 coaching staff, which I love it. I honestly love it. A lot of people questioning the decision as far as him being an assistant, but I'd rather I'd rather I'd rather him come in as an assistant than the head coach because, for one, the Grizzlies were set in stone on Twamas Isolo. That was the reality. And two, some assistant coaches are better off as assistants. That's just the reality. Yes, you're this assistant coach who has all these offers, who's making all this noise as a potential head coach candidate. He might be a better assistant coach. I mean, you look at guys like at one point they used to be the case for Kenny Atkinson. They used to be the case for Mike Brown, Mike Malone, Mike Budenholzer, Frank Vogel. A lot of these guys who are pretty good head coaches, they were better assistants. That's just how it is. I mean, it's like football. That offensive coordinator who became a head coach, guess what? He's better off as an offensive coordinator. It's just the reality of it. And I think that the Grizzlies are taking the right steps. And the fact that he's the lead assistant is exactly what the Grizzlies need. We're talking about a guy who coached Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Bruce Brown, Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Like, these are just a few names that I think the team can really benefit from. And obviously, with a scheme like that, with a championship scheme he's been around, and a contending team at that, because the Nuggets have been contenders for the past 4 years. So I think with that in mind, I think the Grizzlies are setting themselves up in the right direction. I think it's just all about making sure it meshes well and overall keeping him happy, because that really is the main thing. It's just making sure the coaches are happy in their position, because obviously if not, they're gonna feel some kind of way and that can really throw things off. So once again, love the hire. I'm glad that they kind of followed through with the perspective that I would think that I had the philosophy of bringing in veterans on the coaching staff, because this is a first time coach. You don't want to throw them completely into the fire compared to how, they did it last season once they fired Taylor Jenkins. So good to see the Grizzlies doing that. Love to see it, and I hope it works out very well. Now, as far as the Grizzlies, I found this article on BillStreetBears.com. Shout out my guy Parrish. He basically wrote an article saying that there's a possibility that the Grizzlies could look into buying out the contract of John Conchar. Now, if you don't know, um, John Conchar was in trade rumors throughout the entire season, especially at the trade deadline when the Grizzlies were trying to make a move for Cam Johnson. But the Nets offer was just way too much. Miami was interested in Conchar, things of that nature, but overall a deal did not work out. And it's clear that the Grizzlies are more than likely trying to move on from Conchar, which I can understand. Conchar, yes, he brings energy, defense, rebounding at times, but overall his offense kind of does hinder the team. So I think that's a reason why they may be looking to move on from him. And plus, they're also probably looking to clear a roster spot to bring in someone else that may, benefit the team better. Um, but this was first reported by Jake Fisher. Just something that could be done. And obviously, Conchar has like two 2 years left on his deal, and honestly, the way I look at it, the Grizzlies could be thinking in a direction where it's better to just buy out his contract than try to force a deal to be done. So I mean, obviously they tried to make that happen, but I think if nothing is done, we could look at John Conchar's contract being bought out. This is just a possibility, no real guarantee, but it's a strong possibility. Like I said, they've been trying to move on from Conchar for a while, so hearing this news really doesn't surprise me. Like I said, Conchar, overall great energy guy when it comes to defense and coming off the bench, but he does have his flaws that have at one point hindered the team. And they feel that in the near future, that's not going to help them, because at one point, John Conchar did not touch the floor. He was out of the rotation and then worked his way back into the rotation closer to the playoffs. So it's very clear that they're kind of moving off of him. Kind of how they did Luke Kennard, for example, except they let Luke Kennard walk in free agency. So, yeah, wouldn't be surprised by that. That's just really my take on all that. And obviously today is another summer league game. It'll be the Grizzlies against the Golden State Warriors, which I think should be a pretty good game. I mean, the Grizzlies they've done a really good job in this summer league, and so has the Golden State Warriors. I've seen them, and they've done a pretty good job. I can't really complain about that. Late tip off, I believe 9:30 p.m. So definitely interesting late time. But then again, it is Vegas. But one name that I would say that a lot of people are really looking forward to in this game, and I've noticed from the comment section and tweets themselves, a lot of people looking forward to Jemai Makeshak. Me as well, because once again, he is not a box score player. You have to watch the games to understand how he plays and how he benefits the team. Definitely want to pay attention to that. As far as everyone else, no real injuries on the injury report. It hasn't really come out. It usually comes out later in the day, like right before tip off. So as far as we know, majority of the guys that usually play are set to play unless things change at the last second. Once again, no real update on Cedric Coward. I think it's safe to say he probably will not play in Vegas at all, which is okay. Some lottery players don't really play that long. I mean, you look at guys like Cooper Flag, who respectfully is the number one pick, so I understand it. He played 2 games in Vegas, and they decided that was enough. It's common for lottery players to not play the entire summer league. It would be loved. You would love to see it, but I don't blame the Grizzlies for taking the cautionary tale of not playing him in Vegas because right now we're already hindered in the front court. Don't want to jeopardize your don't want to jeopardize your future wing player. So I completely get it. He's already coming off an injury, so completely understandable. One, I would just have to hope that during the season this doesn't prove to be a concern, and the Grizzlies end up missing some would say a risk, but also a potential to be a steal in the draft. So definitely gonna be looking out for this game. Can't wait. Main thing I want to see is if Jalen Wells can really get going early on in the game and kind of keep it throughout because he has had his struggles on the ball, but then again, Jalen Wells isn't usually an on-ball player. He's more of a guy that moves around the court off a screen. He can drive when he does, but I think seeing the ball in Jalen Wells' hands is something that you don't really see. And clearly, in some league, this is this opportunity to kind of do that. And it's not. It's not. I mean, a lot of people are expecting it because they want that immediate replacement for Desmond Bain. But a lot of people have to remember Jalen Wells did exceed expectations. So really, just got to pay attention to that, and just kind of think in hindsight. Obviously, with GG, I really got nothing to say. I don't think he needs to play anymore in summer league. But judging how the Grizzlies played him last year, I would say keep playing him. Overall, I love watching GG play. Just obviously, just really don't want to risk the injury factor. And yeah, that's really all I got honestly as far as tonight's game. Like I said, injury report comes out like minutes before tip off. So a lot of these guys I just named, they might not even play. So one would have to see. But as far as this edition of Grizzlies Daily, that's really all I got for today. Not really much going on. Just thought I'd bring y'all some new updates that happened over the past 24 hours. So definitely going to be looking out for more. Like I said, rumor-wise, I think we're kind of in the dead point. Don't really see much happening. A lot of those rumors that we reported early on kind of dying down as teams, really try to figure out those contracts at this point. But that's really all I got. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Love to hear y'all thoughts, and I love to see y'all tune into these videos. And with that bell, you click that bell, you'll know when we upload. We try to upload daily or every other day with the latest and greatest Grizzlies news. And that's for this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host, Malik, and I'll be signing off.